This is the April 13th, 2023 meeting of the Acushnet Public Library Board of Trustees. We are being audio taped and videotaped, and we do have a quorum. We have a couple items on our agenda today. First and foremost is it is with great regret that we received our resignation letter from our director, Dina St. Pierre. We're going to try to get through this without being very emotional. It's very difficult. Although we are happy, very happy, that she is getting a fantastic promotion and career job opportunity, we are extremely sad that she is leaving us. Did you want to say anything?
I can't make eye contact with anything.
It's okay.
Oh, thank you. Well, I did want to say I know we're here primarily to talk about moving forward and the next steps that have to happen. And so I don't want to take up a ton of the time. However, I don't usually get to address you as a full board because that's not how this works. So I did want to just say a few things when we're all together. And I'm sorry that Jerry and Danielle aren't here, but I will talk to them individually. So the first thing I want to do is I have to thank the board, the past board, and the current board. One of the best things that's come out of this is that I've had a great relationship with every iteration of Board of Trustees since I've been here, and it's been 8 years this month since I started. Man, I was not going to cry. It's going to be a long month. Okay. I was just thinking of this morning. Diane's the only board member left from the beginning. I think her first meeting was my first meeting as director. And then Nancy, you came on soon after I started. You were in my office on day one at Russell. You were there to introduce yourself to me. You came on the board. Jerry came on the board. Jen, Steve, Danielle. And I, of course, have to mention Kristen Liotti, who was chair of the board when I was hired and has been such a support to me throughout the past 8 years and continues to be that. She's a fantastic person for this library. And I think a lot of success can certainly be credited to her and her belief in my ability to help get the library here to Middle Road. So I first of all have to say thank you to the past board members, present board members. I'm so proud of the relationship that we've all had with each other, or that I've been able to have individually with people, but as a group. And I hope you're proud of that too, because I know this is not the way it works at every public library. So I know how lucky I am that I've had support. The players have changed, but we've still played really well together, and we've made things successful. So that's first of all. Second of all, in my resignation letter, I cited a lot of collaborative relationships that have been built or that were already built that have continued through the past 8 years. We've had a strong relationship with the Board of Selectmen and town administration. The Finance Committee has been so supportive of me and this library. I doubt anyone else will ever stand up in front of them wearing their pajamas. And I will always be remembered for the person who stood in front of them in pajamas.
You might want to explain that.
It was right. The meeting was here, and it was held here because we were having pajama story time that night, which I was leading. And so I was coming straight from pajama story time to the Finance Committee meeting, and we were also asking for the first time for a part-time children's room assistant, because we had nothing like that when I started, which still boggles my mind that this library had no children's, someone who was working specifically with kids, which is also one of the reasons why it was so attractive to me, because I am a children's librarian, so it was such an attractive position to me to have the ability to still do parts of that job. So anyway, it was a twofold thing. I was coming off pajama story time, but also we were saying, see how she's so desperate for help in the children's room, she's here wearing her pajamas. So anyway, so the FinCom's been great to us. The public schools we have a great relationship with, and that's not just the schools, it's the PTO as well. They've been super supportive of us, and that I so appreciate how that's really evolved over the past 8 years, and I know that's going to continue. My one regret, I think, when I leave is that I never had the time or the staffing levels to really foster a good relationship with the parochial school in town. And I hope that in the future, that's something that can happen. That was always on our strategic plan and discussed in our annual planning, and it's just something that never came to be. So I hope that in the future that does. And then, of course, the other town departments, department heads, and there's a lot of awesome employees in this town who are very supportive of each other as much as we can be for each other. And all of those collaborative relationships have led to the success of this library. But the key part that I talked about in my letter is the staff and our patrons. So the staff, even again, players have changed through the years. We've talked so many times about the high turnover rate for our part-time employees, and I think that's because the positions are part-time. So it's a very attractive job for retirees as a second work opportunity. But then it's also, and then you eventually retire from that, fully retire. And it's also an attractive opportunity for people who need part-time work. But then when they need full-time, it's not so great anymore. But it doesn't, everyone who's been here, whether they've worked 8 hours, 19 hours, or have been here full time, everybody's contributed something big and has played a big role in the success of the library. And the patrons are they've just been so good to us. This is a hard patronage to walk away from. I thought when I left Whitman Public Library in 2013, I thought that was hard. And now it's the patrons and the staff together that make this such a success. These patrons are hard to let go of, big time. But the foundation, we've built a super strong foundation, and that doesn't change when somebody leaves. It hasn't changed when a board member has left. It hasn't changed when a staff member has left. It's not going to change when I leave. And I know you are all going to work super hard to recruit the next library director who's just going to be able to build on that foundation, because the staff is still here and the public are still here, and that foundation, the welcoming fabric of this building is still here. That's not going anywhere. And I can't wait to be nosy and checking in on the circulation numbers and the attendance numbers for this library, because I know it's going to continue to really, I think, be like the heart of this community. I really think that it is in a lot of ways, and I think that's just going to continue. And the last thing I want to say is a couple of people have asked me, not a lot of people, but a couple of people have asked me, why are you going? And there's only one reason why, and Jen already said it. I've been offered a really awesome opportunity that doesn't come up in this area a lot for professional growth. And I don't want to live in the Boston area or commute to the Boston area, and that's where people in my position would go for professional growth. So the fact that I'm getting to do that here in this area, where my family is and where my home is key to me. So I haven't looked for anything else in 8 years. I've never seriously even thought of applying anywhere else, because my heart is very much here in Acushnet, and it always will be. And I think on May 13th, on my last day, people are going to find me at 3 o'clock at the door, like with my fingers clutching it. Like, don't make me go. But the only reason why I'm going is I just have a great professional growth opportunity. And I appreciate everyone who's reached out to congratulate me and wish me well, because it just shows how awesome this community is, because the positive reaction has been overwhelming. Like, very overwhelming, and I think is just a testament to this community and what we've built here as a community, because we've really done something extraordinary here. And I think 9 years ago, nobody would have thought that what happened here, those years later, would have happened. I don't think that people would have, in 2014, I don't think anyone was anticipating what's happened here. So I'm thrilled that I've gotten to play a part in that. And I've already been asked that maybe someday I'll consider being a friend of the library. So maybe someday I'll be back to be a friend of the library. But I really And John, who's always there dutifully on camera. You've been to more meetings than some other people have, because you've been around since the beginning too. So, this is a good place to be, and it's very hard to leave. Thank you. I did not mean, that was like, aside from a few notes, that was all off the cuff. But whoever comes in next is one lucky person. And one last thing I'll say, please don't ever tell that person that they have big shoes to fill. That's something that drives me nuts when somebody leaves. I've been told that in my career. Oh, you have really big shoes to fill. I take a size 11, so I'm not worried about it. But
So you do have big shoes.
there's literally big shoes. But like, let that person come in and just build off that foundation. They're gonna know that there's a lot of good stuff that's happened here, and that they're gonna know that right away. So you're gonna let them do their own thing with this awesome staff, and it's gonna be great. And I know the community's gonna embrace whoever comes next, because they embraced me. So, okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Please carry on.
I don't.
Thank you.
I
very
know
much.
that
Thank
we've
you.
already told you individually how amazing you are and how happy we are for you.
Thank you.
To not risk having a very emotional rest of the meeting, I'm going to. But you know how we
I
all
know.
feel, and we have said it.
Yep.
And I think the community, just in the outpouring of support, I think you can feel.
Yep.
How we feel, but we are extremely excited for you, and we can't wait to hear reports back on how you're doing, so that we can share in your excitement.
Thank you. That means
So
a lot to me.
absolutely.
Thank you.
That being said,
Moving on.
let's try to get to the moving forward piece of the puzzle here. Now the next task is to for the board to search for our new library director. And in doing that, we need to form a search committee to be able to read through preliminary resumes and preliminary interviews before we bring the final candidates to the rest of the board. So the personnel committee is myself, Nancy, and Danielle. I know Danielle is away and will not be able to participate. So we would need another member to be on that committee.
I'd flip. Yep.
Steve, okay. And also, I think a member of the staff would also be good, and I would recommend Sandra to also be on that committee. I will make sure to talk to her about it and see if that's okay. But does everyone agree with that? Is that okay?
Okay.
So if we could have a motion to create the search committee comprised of those 4 people.
I'll make a motion that we create a committee.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. I will reach out to Sandra, but as long as she's okay with it, then we'll move forward. And the last thing is the actual draft of the job posting, which everyone should have. I don't know if there are any questions about it, or if we can post as is. I know we want to add a complete job description is available upon request, which I will add in there. And then we also want to add the AA, EOE, and the DOQ references. Is there anything else that anybody can think of?
No, looks good, John.
No? Okay, then I will be posting the job to the MBLC website and all the related websites that it needs to go to.
Do we need a motion?
We can. Motion to, we have a motion to accept the,
Motion to accept the position description for the posting.
I'll second it.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And I think unless anyone has any other questions or comments or anything, we'll just,
I just want to make one more comment.
Sure, please do.
That I hope nobody thinks it's weird that you're posting it while I'm still here.
Oh, no.
No, I just want to
Oh,
put
okay.
that out there. This is amazing that you've worked so quickly. I mean, I only gave my resignation last Thursday. So a week later, you're acting on this already, and this sets you up in a really good position. And it just reiterates what I've said. You care about this library. You're going to find hopefully a great pool of candidates to choose from. And like, so that makes me so happy. So thank you for not sitting on this and waiting. Like, I know how much work it is, and it's greatly appreciated that you're working so fast. So I just also want to add that.
Thank you, and I appreciate that it's not weird.
It's not-
It is weird, but it's not weird.
But it's not
so,
weird.
Okay,
It's
good.
not
yes.
weird. This is what you need to do.
Good.
And if you weren't doing it, I'd be like, I can't believe they're not doing
Right,
anything
worried.
about
Yes.
this. Why aren't they doing anything? So thank
So
you.
you don't
for
believe you're gonna leave.
Right, thank you. Thank you. No,
If we ignore her, she'll stay.
I thought about it. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
hadn't thought about that part. Why are you moving so fast? Kidding.
So if nobody has any other questions, then we'll have meetings with the subcommittee to go over, like I said, the resumes as they come in and the preliminary discussions, and then we'll report back to the board at our actual regularly scheduled meetings as they move forward. Which the next regularly scheduled library meeting will still be held on Thursday, April 28th at 4 o'clock. And unless anybody has anything else,
I think it's April 27th.
is it 27th?
Yep,
Is it the Thursdays?
It's
the 27th?
Thursday's the 27th.
Well,
Yes.
then it's the 27th.
Yep.
Thursday. I was good
Yep.
with the Thursday.
Nope. Okay.
Okay,
Good.
Thursday, April 27th at 4 o'clock here in the library. And if nobody else, we just need a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Mhm.
Motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting of the Acushnet Public Library Board of Trustees is officially adjourned. It is 4:27.